Fall is the best season for herbs. Cool nights, fresh growth, and so many planting possibilities. A little care for tired perennials, plus a few new cool season favorites, and your garden will be full of flavor, pollinators, and beauty all season long. Gardening in the desert isn't easy, but I'm here to help. If you want more tips like this, like, subscribe, and stick around. I'm Angela from Growing in the Garden. My garden's in Mesa, Arizona. I want to help you succeed, even if you're gardening in tough conditions. Let's start with a quick health check so you know what to keep and what gets tossed into the compost pile. Scratch the stem. Green under the bark means it's alive. Tan and brittle means it's dead. Check the crown at soil level. Firm and attached is good. Mushy crowns usually mean those roots are rotten and it's time to replant. If more than half of a plant is dead wood, I would replace it now so roots can establish through the winter. At the end of the summer, mint looks rough, so I cut it to 2 or 3 inches. It tolerates a heavy pruning. Remove the thatch and then feed with compost and worm castings. Give it a good drink, it'll bounce back fast. Rosemary may look pretty good. I remove spent tips and any crossing growth, but I avoid cutting into old brown wood. Don't cut back by more than 1/3. You might not need to cut back much at all. You can give it some worm castings, but it really doesn't need much. Lavender often goes dormant during the summer. It does best when you don't overwater. I watered these containers about half as much as my other ones. I always checked the soil and didn't water unless it was dry. Now that we're cooling down, I don't have to do much. Maybe prune lightly in the soft green growth, but don't cut into the brown. I'm not going to feed, and as temperatures cool down, it will wake back up. Oregano flowered all summer for the bees. I'm gonna cut it back by about 1/3 to get some new growth, and then I'll top with compost and worm castings and water well. If the center gets woody, you can divide and replant those fresh edges. Thyme is my favorite perennial herb, but summer is tough on it. I only trim back to visible green new growth, but if stems are mostly woody with no green, I start over with fresh plants. French tarragon made it through the summer like a champ. After summer, remove dead or weak stems. If it's leggy, tip it back by about 1/3 to encourage bushier fall growth, and then feed with compost. Sage often struggles after summer storms and can rot in hot, wet soil. If there's no green below the top few inches, I replace it. If it looks good, you can prune lightly and feed with a little compost, but save heavier pruning for spring. Winter savory. Remove the dead tips and heat damage and then lightly shape by cutting back soft green growth by about 1/3. This will encourage bushy fall regrowth. Don't cut into old hardwood. Save any hard rejuvenation pruning for late spring after it blooms. Lemon verbena looks pretty good right now. I'll give it a light tip trim back to a pair of buds. And as the nights cool, it might start to drop leaves. That's normal. Keep it in a warm, bright spot and it will flush again. You can tell it's fall because the garlic chives begin to bloom. I'm letting it bloom for the pollinators. You can remove any dead leaves around the base, and then I'll cut them all the way down in late fall or early winter. Here are some extra tips for herbs in containers. Containers are a great choice for growing perennial herbs. They help mint and oregano from becoming invasive. Terracotta containers provide airflow that Mediterranean herbs love. 10 gallons or more is good for most herbs. The container should be at least 12 inches deep. If you choose a large enough container, they can be happy for several years. This oregano has grown happily in this container for at least 5 years. How do you know it's time to repot or divide? If roots are poking out of the drainage holes, or you slide the plant out and see them circling the pot, it's root bound and needs more space. You'll often notice growth stalling and the plant wilting between waterings because the root ball can't hold enough moisture. Fall is a good time to repot herbs into larger pots, or if you want free plants, divide clumping herbs like chives and mint. Start with fresh soil in the new container. As nights cool, herbs will need less water. Mint and parsley like consistent moisture. Thyme, sage, lavender, and rosemary prefer the top few inches to dry before watering again. Containers will probably need water more often than herbs in raised beds or in-ground areas. If you want to add any of the perennial herbs we talked about to your garden, fall is the best time to plant. My garden planner lays out month-by-month herb tasks and planting windows. You can also see the planting dates in my guide. Look at all the herbs you can plant in the fall. Fall is also prime time for planting our favorite cool season annual herbs like cilantro, dill, fennel, and parsley. I direct sow cilantro about a 1/2 inch deep and then thin to 6 inches apart. I repeat planting cilantro every 2 or 3 weeks for a steady harvest. Plant dill about a 1/4 inch deep and thin to 8 to 12 inches. The dill will feed us and the swallowtail caterpillars. Bulbing fennel needs full sun and about 12 inches of space. If you're going to transplant, do it gently. It does not like its roots disturbed. Parsley seeds can take forever to sprout. Look for transplants or start from seeds indoors. Plant 8 to 12 inches apart with rich soil and regular moisture. Basil was the star of summer, but once it's covered in flowers like this, the leaves are often bitter. I leave it in place for the bees until I need the space. I usually replant fresh plants each year for the best flavor. This African blue basil is a tender perennial. It doesn't produce seeds, so it keeps blooming. I'll keep it going in the garden as long as it doesn't freeze. Don't let this season pass you by. Fall is the best time to grow herbs. Refresh what you have, plant something new, and enjoy fresh harvest for months to come.